What's up, everybody? Welcome to the 5-Minute Podcast. I'm Ruddy, and let's break down these 2017 NBA playoffs. If you want to call them a playoff, it was a joke, and honestly, the worst playoffs of my lifetime. Let's talk about it, man. All right, yeah, well, you saw it. The Warriors, they whooped the Cleveland Cavs motherfucking ass easily. It looked a lot closer than it was. It was like any time the Cavs got close, Warriors go, okay, let's go up another gear, hit the NOS. It was a joke. The NBA Finals were just as competitive as the entire 2017 NBA playoffs. There was no competition. It was two teams walking their asses into a finals. And really, it was just one team walking themselves to the trophy. Very little, it wasn't too difficult. You know, they have this great 30 for 30 that just aired last night. The Celtics and Lakers. And what a different, their finals were crazy and they were at each other's throats. But their journey just to get to the finals was a lot tougher. And that's what makes them great champions and why we remember them. But there, with the Warriors, it wasn't tough at all. There was no great storyline or anything like that. It was, Kevin Durant joined the Warriors. They have a super team, and they walked their way to a championship. The Cavaliers in the East, they walked their way to the finals. There was no one close in the East. Forget even, you look at these NBA playoffs, especially when you just look at the brackets, all the sweeps, all the injuries, man, which the Clippers with the injuries. And, man, the Clippers, I feel bad for them because I think they could have gave Warriors a better series than the Utah Jazz, of course. But Blake Griffin goes down again. Last year it was Chris Paul and Blake, I believe. They're always injured. And then, of course, the Spurs winning the first game against the Warriors. And Kawhi goes down because Zaza does his little, I think that little two-step he learned overseas. That's a foreign two-step. I guess we don't know that one. You know, goes under, puts his feet under. Kawhi steps on his foot, re-injures his ankle. He's out. That took the only team who had a shot against the Warriors out of it. The only two teams, the Clippers and the Spurs. The East, the East was a joke, man. The only great series, or we won't say great, but for this playoffs, it was super great. But it was the Washington Wizards and Celtics. It was a great series, 7 games. And how great was it to see Isaiah Thomas go for 53 in that overtime game on his sister's birthday? That's the type of stuff that we wanted more of in the NBA playoffs. But there were so many different disappointments, not only the sweeps, but the game. None of the games were even close at all. So very few, I should say. Not none of them. You know, come on now. But majority of them were blowouts. And then you even had MVPs that we thought were great players look horrible. Like how James Harden went out in Game 6 against the Spurs. He doesn't take a shot for the first quarter, barely takes any shots, turns the ball over, and just looked like he didn't even want to play basketball anymore. Like he wanted to lose so he could go out and party and hang out. And this year, as bad as it was, what I'm worried about is what's next year going to be like? What's the year after that? And how does the NBA fix this? Because there is no parity. Whatever they say, this is good, this is something we need to be proud of, this is two teams like the Celtic Lakers. And no, because the Celtics had the Pistons. The Celtics had the Hawks to battle. Even the 76ers, right? The Lakers. I don't know who the Lakers had. I mean, name them, you know? It wasn't an easy road to get to the NBA Finals. And actually, sometimes the conference finals were better than the actual NBA Finals. But, man, this was disastrous. And I think the NBA should take some of these teams out, honestly. Take some of these teams out, make the league about 25 teams. I know that'll never happen. But what I'm worried about is if the Warriors for the next 3 years are this dominant, and especially after next year, that what players are going to start to do, especially if they're 31, late 20s, early 30s, they're going to all join together. And what there'll be like 4 or 5 super teams. And the rest of the rest of the league will be so far behind that it'll almost be like they're not even playing another NBA team. And that would suck for a lot of cities, the competition, and the parity of the league. I know everyone says parity, but I get it because it just, that's where the game's different. It's like everybody can't join out. We need more players spread across and better games, you know? But appreciate everybody who listened to this 5-minute. Listen to all my other 5-minute podcasts. We're doing NBA, but stay tuned. We're going to do more hip-hop. We're going to do hip-hop. We're going to do video games, a whole different bunch of categories of 5-minute podcasts just for everybody because not everyone has 2 hours, 3 hours to listen to a podcast. Shorten it all to 5 minutes. Let you sum it up. Maybe you can listen to some of this and go into work and act like you know what you're talking about. But I'm out. Peace. Stay tuned for more, and we'll be back talking about the 2017 NBA draft next week. Peace, y'all. Mic drop.